And voters in two southern states are headed to the polls today as North Carolina and Texas hold the first major primary races of this election season. NTD's Melina Wisecup joins us now to break it down. Melina, tell us about some of the major races you're looking at.
Hey, good morning, Steph. So first of all, we're watching Texas's Senate race. While the race is competitive on the Democrat side, the Republican side will likely be even closer. You have four-term incumbent Senator John Cornyn, who's taking on Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. They're both vying for the Republican nomination for this seat. Now, Trump has said good things about both, but he's endorsed neither candidate so far. Right now, the polls show Ken Paxton actually leading the incumbent Senator Cornyn. While Cornyn and Paxton look favored, there's also Republican Congressman Wesley Hunt seeking the Republican nomination. Democrats are also trying again here to win the Texas Senate seat. They're pushed really hard, remember, back in 2024 to take Ted Cruz's seat. Of course, they weren't able to do that, but now this time around, they're vying to take John Cornyn's seat. You have current Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She's up against State Representative James Tallarico. But, Steph, whichever Democrat wins this primary election, it will likely be an uphill battle for Democrats for this Senate seat because no Texas Democrat has won a statewide election since the 1990s. Now, you also have a few House races to keep an eye on in Texas, notably where Democrats might be more vulnerable after redistricting. One example is in the 34th district. You have one Trump-endorsed candidate, Eric Flores. He's competing against former Congresswoman Mayra Flores for the Republican nomination. They're both vying for a chance to race against Democrat Vincent Gonzalez, who's held that seat for a number of years. Now, you also have North Carolina. The big race to watch here is in District 1. There are 5 Republican candidates competing to take on the current Democrat incumbent, Don Davis. Steph.
So, Melina, remind us where redistricting fits into this. How has the landscape changed compared to 2024?
Well, Steph, since these are primary elections, it likely won't be easy to see the impact of redistricting just yet. But for example, we could look to see how much voter turnout has changed to get a better idea of how redistricting has played on the ballot. For example, since Don Davis is uncontested in his primary, we can look to see has the voter turnout on the Democrat side changed since the last election. That could give us some insight into how redistricting has played on the ballot so far. Of course, but he is uncontested, so that could also play into the fact of whether or not Democrats choose to go to the ballot, choose to take to the ballot for this primary election. Now, Don Davis, his seat is also in danger because of redistricting, Steph. He already had a tight win in 2024, since this is an area that Trump won in 2024. But now Republicans have made this race even more competitive with that redistricting. And you can see that particularly with how many Republicans are now vying for the nomination for this primary election today. Redistricting, like we mentioned, has also caused several seats to become more vulnerable for Democrats in Texas. So after today's primaries, we'll get a clearer idea of just how close those races in Texas will also be, Steph.
Certainly so. Well, thank you so much for the update this morning. NTD congressional correspondent Melina Wisecup.